Let's roll. Co-pilot on the passenger side, be so fly. Yeah. She so lit, we so high. Just me and my chick, yeah. Just me and my chick, yeah. Co-pilot on the passenger side, be so fly. Yeah. She so lit, we so high. Just me and my chick, yeah. Just me and my chick, yeah. She give me a bit of her love.
Yo, what up, y'all? Welcome to another man. It's your boy Rob One, and this is Sparking Conversation. And y'all know what I do each and every week, man. I get up here and I talk to some of the world's most interesting people. But tonight, not so much so because my guest couldn't make it. But we still got a really dope conversation lined up for y'all. I just want to be able to see if I could talk to y'all a little bit about, some things that's involving health, but I want to talk about positive energy tonight. I want to talk about that real heavy because you know, it's just a lot going on in the world, right? And everybody has something going on. And the way that we train our minds to deal with things is ultimately how the outcome comes, that turns out, right? We already know that whatever the outcome of what you're dealing with has already happened, but whatever goes past that part, right? So we're going to talk a little bit about that. But before we do that, I got to do like I do each and every week. I have to thank all the people that download the audio version of this platform. Thank y'all so much. Thank y'all so much. Thank y'all so much because it's so important that people understand that when it comes down to this podcast game, what this really is about, this platform game, what it really is about. And your audio is so important. And the fact that people really download the platform and they out here listening to it, whatever me and my guests are chopping it up about, I have to really make sure that I give them a special shout out, right? Because it's easy for people to see you come across a timeline on the video. Sometimes I even understand how the algorithm works that I get counted for a view of somebody who never really pushed play. It's just because I popped up on their timeline, they looked at it longer than 30 seconds or, a few seconds or whatever, and then boom, you know what I mean? They never even heard it. Good thing is I keep captions on all of the videos that I put out. So either way it go, you're going to get whatever you're looking for. But, it's still a thing, right? So you got to be appreciative when you understand that people are actually checking for you. This thing could get convoluted really quickly once fame comes into play. And I realize that with a lot of so-called, big platformers or podcasters, they really start to get into that whole bag based on their monetary success. And I know people change when they get to a certain level of monetary success. I think you're supposed to. I don't think you're supposed to stay the same. I think you are supposed to change. And I understand too that the people around you are going to change more than you are, right? Because then they're going to be expecting you to always say yes. And then when you don't say yes, then, you'll be attacked for that. So, just to be able to deal with that particular portion of life once you are in this particular space, because who's to say that you won't be successful? That's the thing that people should really understand, that when you do something, yeah, you might think that it's not working for the moment. You might think that people are not paying attention. You might not have millions of views and likes and comments and all that other stuff. But I just want you guys to realize this, if you don't realize nothing else. There's a lot of people that are famous, and there's a lot of people who get a lot of comments and views. But do you know how much of their comments, like the percentage of their comments and views that are not positive? A lot of people are where they are now based off of negativity, which is only the way that you take it, right? So let's say this, for example, um, your biggest podcasters that you have out there, if you go and check the comments, they have the worst comments. Like, you have to sift through at least 10, 15 comments before you see something positive. And then it's going to be another 15, 20 negative comments before you get to something else positive. So whenever you go and you see these people are really huge and stuff, it's not just from the people who like them. It's from the people who don't like them. More so, because the people who don't like what you say or don't agree with you, they'll be the first ones to comment. They'll be the first ones to, because they want you to know how much they don't like what you're saying, right? So they'll be the first ones. So the engagement from people who don't like you come from people who don't agree. And a lot of times, whenever you don't get a lot of, you know, comments and likes and stuff like that, it's because people do really agree with you. And that's the difference. right? And some people don't even want you to know that they agree with you. They know that you making a point or you making good points or what you and your guests are talking about, but they don't want you to acknowledge that, so they won't say nothing. And that's how you know, because if a person really didn't like what was going on, that's the quickest thing that most people do. That's the first thing a person to tell you. It's so quick to tell you what they don't like. Like having an average conversation with people now is the first thing that they want to harbor on is what they don't like about something or whatever. It's something that they're gonna make sure they let people know it's something that they don't like. Now, you do get in conversations with people who are like-minded every now and then whenever you can get into a thing about what you like and you don't like. But for the most part, it's so easy for people to get trapped up or to be the first thing that they spew out is something about what they don't like. And it's easy. So, you know, that's how you know. And that's how you know you're doing something good too at the same time, even though it don't necessarily look like it based on what your views may look like, your shares and your comments. It's just you got to understand that what this is about. This is a marathon. It's not a race. So, giving credit to the people who don't like, because the audio versions don't get downloaded as much as the visuals get seen. Like that is a understanding. So it may seem like, yo, you want to give props to the people who are doing the most, and it's not. You want to give props to the people who are doing what is really going to add value in the long run. And that's whenever you go to any other company or brand, whenever they're ready to partner with you, they want to know how many people listening. Like, how can they plug in some advertisements during your content? Because that's what it's about. Right. So if they knowing that people are actually downloading and listening to you, and when it comes down to that, so how do you think it's going to be easier for you to really get land those corporate, you know, sponsorships and all those other things for your platform that will bring you the bigger money? Like that's what it's about. And I think that for most of us, we gotta understand that part, right? Because if you don't, then you'll just be in vain doing this part right here, just waiting to go viral because of how people looking at you. That should be the bonus, right? But anyway, we have to always make sure that we keep each other motivated in this podcast game or whatever this platform game is, because it can be easily discouraged. You can get discouraged, and I think it's a thing too to really want to encourage people anyway. Because low key, whenever you set out to put energy out there for other people, it's really coming back to you. The universe mirrors the energy that you put out. So if you put out negativity come back. You put out positivity, it comes back. You don't have to worry about who or where it comes from. It's just going to come back. And I think that's where a lot of people get it messed up, because they feel like if they support a person, that person is supposed to do the same for them. And that's not how that works. It's like, long as you're doing things from your heart, and long as you're doing things from the right place, it's always going to come back to you. And they don't have to come back from people you know. It come from complete strangers. Trust me. So we always got to be looking for the positive in everything, because negative is always going to show itself. You don't have to look for negativity. It's going to show itself. You turn on the news, you're going to see negativity. If you thinking about politics, if that's your worst thing, you're going to find negativity. It doesn't matter. You don't have to look for negativity. It will show itself. But for positivity, you have to look for it. You have to see the glass half full. You have to see that. But people do see it half empty. But it's just the way you look at things. You know what I'm saying? So either way it go, thank y'all to all the people that do that, because that's what the vibe is. I appreciate y'all. Right? Oh, and I'm on my whiskey tonight. I know I said I was going to talk about health and stuff like that, and then having whiskey tonight ain't it. But this is just how I'm feeling, right? Because sometimes you have to put yourself in a perspective that, it's all right for you to do the things that you like to do. But look, before I get into what's going on tonight in my did you know segment and my rant, I have to make sure I give these shout outs real quick. So thank y'all to everybody who is still pushing play on Kill No One Part 1 and Kill No One Part 2. Yo, I appreciate y'all, man. It's one thing, man, because, right now I have the Oob Lifter series. Speaking of the Oob Lifter series just today, Oob Lifter Part 22 did drop today. So if you're on my Facebook page, it is pinned. to my timeline. If you're on YouTube, it is on Team Collector TV. It is just newly released on our platform, and everywhere else is everywhere else as well too. So Instagram, everywhere else, right? So I want to say thank y'all. But what I was trying to make the point about Killing One Part One and Part Two is because I'm still getting the alerts of people who are still watching it. I'm still getting comments and different things like that. So thank y'all because as you get new things, you got to promote your new stuff as well too. So you don't so much get the chance to promote things that you've already done, even if it's fairly new or even if it's recent. But the fact that people are still watching it. Thank y'all, man. I really do appreciate that. I'm just being honest because it's crazy. Because you just never know. When we put these things out there, I know. That's why I say these things a lot about the whole thought about going viral or whatever this big break that people are looking for or whatever it is when it comes down to just being able to be free and do the things you love to do. I love to be creative. So at any event that a person pushes play on anything that I do, I'm going to be thankful because I understand there are people who are chasing a childhood dream, a lifelong dream of being in the big screen on the big silver spots and on the big red carpets and all of these things that come with that feeling of really feeling of importance or feeling like you've made it. I don't care about that. That's the difference. And it's not because I think it's something wrong with people who do. I'm just saying I'm not waiting on that. I'm not going to ever wait on that for somebody to give me an opportunity. Never going to wait on anyone to say you're good enough or you're okay or I'll like you. Like, no, it's like, yo, what is it what are they talking about? We can create our own scenario like that. And no, we may not have the budget to do it in the blockbuster way and all that other stuff, but the way that technology is set up right now, we can do fly shit, get fly points across, be funny, be serious, or whatever we need to be and still get it off. Why? Because everything is right here right now. As much as there's no lines out the movie theater anymore. I don't know what people are chasing. It's not. You a lot of these movies, think about it, y'all. If you don't think about some of these things that we watch, they be like Netflix originals and Hulu originals and this, that, and the third. These streaming services are putting their money into major films and they're streaming them on their platform. So you think about even boxing has gone over to streaming platforms and doing really well over on streaming platforms. So why would you or anybody else be chasing validation for somebody saying that whether it's okay for you to be in something that you love to do? We're not doing that. And that brings me to my next little shout out that I got to give, which is the We Don't Wait, We Create, which is going down in April on the Saturday the 18th in Raleigh, North Carolina. And what we're looking for to who to be in the building is models, actors, actresses, clothing designers, script and concept writers, brand ambassadors, directors, videographers, script writers, screenwriters, booking and casting agents, whatever you do in the business. If you work lights, if you work sound, if you, like I said, model, brand ambassador, if you're a clothing line, we want y'all in the building, right? So we could put it together because, like I said, we not waiting, we creating. So if you come, I promise, if you come, you're gonna meet people. It'll be something that you can do when you leave that networking event. I'm not just putting this networking event for us to just say something or try to pull something from people. I'm not with all that. What I'm saying to y'all is that we're trying to get the right people in the building. We're trying to get the right people in the right proper spaces so we can really help each other build the assets so we can have generational wealth, because that's what it's about. We got to build assets. These films and all of these things that people are doing, these people are doing these things because it started with a thought or a vision up here. And all of us out here got some type of vision or thought or whatever. And some of you don't want to be in front of the camera. And that's the hardest people to find. But you guys be all over social media saying that you want to do these things. But like I said, now this is what we're doing. We're putting it together. So now you don't have to just say, this is what you want to do. You could be in a building. You're going to meet other people that's doing other things too, not just me. I'm just saying I'm looking as well. And if you go on my timeline, if you follow me anywhere, you'll see I'm putting in the work. So it's not just I'm saying something just to say it. We've done so many things or productions that I've done, and we've done it with just us that has been on set. Not like we had the full, whole blown out thing or whatever this thing's supposed to look like. Nah, but I do understand there are people out here looking, they're hungry to get with like minded people, other talented people that they could put together and make something shake. They don't have to be chasing New York. They don't have to chase Atlanta. They don't have to chase Houston. They don't have to chase to go to all these other places to try to get them an opportunity. They could get their opportunity right where they at, put forth the effort, and then build their own. It's always dope to work with a bunch of people, and then you can still branch off and build your own. My whole purpose for everybody to work with me, whatever channel and everything that I'm building with Collective Vision, that it turns into a place where those people individually can work their own social medias and everything and be able to get a bag over there because they already put in the work somewhere where a bunch of people are helping them at the same time. And it's not just about you. That's what Collective Visions was about. That's why everything that you see that got me involved, that got collective in it, is because of that thought process. If I only wanted to think about myself, it'll just have that in everything. But Collective Visions, Collective Where, everything that you see, Collective Music Group, anything that you see that's involving me that has a collective in it is because that's the mindset. Collectively, we can do this. Now, maybe I do a lot of stuff on my own, but it doesn't mean that I'm not trying to put it together to get the right group of people together. So we don't wait, we create. Y'all know what to do. All you gotta do is email us at the bcollectivevisions1@gmail.com. Make sure you put in the subject line network, and I'll lock you in and put you on the RSVP. And you just get in the list. And then when it's time for the event, we got a secret location. So we're gonna make sure that everybody get the final location details the day before the event so you can have it fresh because we only want people there that want to be there. That's why I say that we're not just doing the general public, just having everybody there because we're trying to bring in a draw just so we can, pull from people. We want everybody to be there that's supposed to be there. So right now, thank you all, and I hope that to see you all there. All right. All right. So outside of that, I got my did you know segment coming up. But before we do that, I wanted to talk to y'all a little bit about something because I know coming up, Ramadan is coming up. And I've seen so many different mixed reviews of people. The one thing about the internet is that you'll find out that there's a lot of people out here who look for a reason to be contrary to something. I don't know. Like, it's always a battle of good and evil some type of way, but the fact that people battle with religions all the time is just kind of weird. And I'm gonna tell y'all why, because throughout the course of history, we found out in so many different ways that so many of these different wars that took place over religion. Like, kind of think about that, y'all. Like, in the sense of for those people who really harp on religion, some people who just really died hard, scripture based to the point where they recite scriptures and all these other things. Do they know that a lot of the major atrocities that have taken place in the world and throughout history was based on religion? I don't really think that people don't get that. Like, if there's really something that was going on in the world that's supposed to be out here, you should not be forced into doing it. And I never believed in that. So even when you go to church in a structured church, right? In the sense of what a structured church. And I'm looking at the way the members are forced to live a certain way. When I mean forced by is they're told how they're supposed to dress, what they're supposed to wear, where they're supposed to go and not go, what they're supposed to do and not do. These are things that people are being forced to do. Like, I don't understand that in a world where we are set to be free and to live in a place of freedom, because these are the things that we have technically supposed to have fought for in life, right? It's freedom. And yet and still we put ourselves in position and then you pay. It's almost like when we think about these laws that we're fighting out here, we pay these taxes, so we pay to get abused each and every day by the police or wherever these things that are going on in all these major places that these things we're paying. When it comes down to the government and everybody talking about Democrat, Republican, and this and that, whatever's going on, we pay for them to do whatever they do. So whenever they was forcing transgenderism on people and wanting men to be in women's sports and putting them in bathrooms with other little kids and things was happening. They were forcing that on people, and we paid for that. No matter how much you hated that happened, you paid for that. So what I'm saying at the same time, we're doing the same thing when it comes down to everything else. So in the structure of religion, people are paying for someone to tell them what to do and not to do. That don't go along with the religion itself because it's meant to be said that you pay tithes and offerings in order to get a blessing from God. Then why do you need to hear what the preacher is saying? Because ultimately that's what you're there for. And I'm saying, like, not to be technical, but I'm only saying that because when it come down to Ramadan, I hear the Christians and all these other people and these, that, and they upstate, they have something to say negative, and then Palestine keep being brought in these things and all of this other stuff when it come down to it. But I want y'all to know, like, even during Ramadan, people are praying, right? But do you know, like, one of the things that they're doing, or the thing that's the toughest thing to do for most people to do, is to fast. Kind of think about that. Because whenever you go to certain hospitals, you don't see people who fast, you don't see them in hospitals laid up. I just want y'all to put this correlation together. You don't see them in and out of doctors' offices for visits and stuff like that. You don't see them just always battling colds and flus and all these other things. People who fast regularly. So the fact that people are looking at religion or whatever, or finding a means to be separate about something instead of finding out what the benefits of are, from what people do, like learning other people's culture. Is you don't have to be down with people to learn how they get down, right? Like, you go to other people, you experience their culture. When you go travel and all these other things, you experience their culture. They tell you about things and you respect it, and then you come back to wherever you at and you just, what I'm saying, do whatever you do. It's the same thing when it comes down to these particular things. What makes you tick? If that's what you do, what makes you tick? I want to know what makes you tick. I don't really care to follow you. But knowing what makes you tick is respect, because at least you can learn people. Like, I don't have to be like you to learn who you are. And me personally, if that's how you get down, good. But fasting in itself, in general, so many people deal with so many physical things in their life when it comes to their health because they do not fast. And so what I'm saying to y'all is that maybe for those of you guys that are really sitting up here talking crazy about Ramadan, and they can't eat. They gotta go sun up to sundown with no food, and no, they can't even have water. And how you gonna do? And they doing that for Allah, and they doing that, and those people be bombing. And the comments from people on everyday social media is bananas, y'all. And the fact that so many people who represent these things, like the Muslims who are actually going through it, some of y'all that respond to these comments, that's crazy too. Because at the end of the day, you going into a season of prayer and fasting so you can get your mind in a certain position. You already know that the devil coming for you. So the fact that you fighting and going back and forth with a bunch of people that the devil is sending to you is bananas to me too. So I'm be honest with y'all, at the end of the day, are you really doing it for the right reason, or are you just out here because it's a part of what you do so you can seem cool for the moment, or you can seem like you down with something? You know what I mean? Like, nah, we saying that respect the culture, right? But fasting in itself, if people do so much research on different things. If you research fasting, most people are not even dealing with parasites. Like, if you really think about, everybody is being exposed to bad things, terrible things in the food. My Did You Know segment I'm about to bring up in a minute is going to refer to that. And I want y'all guys to really pay attention to what this is saying when I get into that. But before that, I wanted to show y'all something because parasites, right? Parasites is the number one cause of so many different diseases, ailments, and sicknesses that so many people deal with on a regular basis. And it's just a fact. But they don't talk to you about that, right? Because there's a way for you to get rid of it. Now, if you do not want to take anything for these things, that's where fasting comes in, right? Fasting comes in because you deny your flesh those things that you put inside of your flesh, which then those things that are inside of you that's not supposed to be in you don't have anything to eat anymore. They don't have nothing to feed off of. They don't have means to keep procreating and laying eggs, and then those eggs laying dormant until the adults die because it's only so much room in your body, right? And there's certain many places people saying they have cancer in the liver, they have cancer in the pancreas, they have cancer in the lungs, they have cancer in the stomach, they have cancer in the knee and the arm. All these different places that people are saying that they have cancers has all been linked back. Now I'm saying to y'all, this is not me saying it. This is all open research that you guys can go check out. So let me just put that disclaimer out there. But for all those places that people are saying that they have cancer, it's all been linked back to larvae of unhatched parasites because of the way that people continuously eat and add sugar and all these other things to their diet. The adults are living longer and they will not hatch until they die. So because of that, it's causing people to have these things. When they talk about kidney stones and all these other things, that's what these things are. Look it up. So the fact that people don't pay attention to these particular things, this is why I say there are things out here. So I want to put this out here for y'all. I have a link in the description. There is companies that make these things. So like the super binders, toxin heavy metals. What we saying is that this cleanseparasite.com place, this place right here, they have it for y'all. If you guys are looking to get rid of these things that are in your body, parasite detox, they have the full description of everything that are in these things. You guys can go read about it. You can research it. The link is in the description, and you guys can go ahead and start ordering. And what I'm saying to y'all is that think about it: toxins, heavy metals that's in the water, right? In the water, and so all of these other things that people consume. Because I know, because look, when you go to places like we go to eat at places. How often do y'all think that these places got filtered water that they're using to cook their stuff in? Or how many people you know on a regular day-to-day basis at home use filtered water to cook their stuff in? Or do they just jump out there and just fill the pot up with sink water and then boil it in here to make your spaghetti or your pasta or whatever they do? Like, there are very few people that take extra steps to try to take that thing, but you could go to people's houses and eat and all these other things. People at potlucks and all these other things that we do, or even restaurants that we like, we love, that we love they're using every means to just make the stuff. They're not paying attention, but you guys don't ask those questions, do y'all? Hey, yo, listen, when I get this shrimp and broccoli pasta that I'm getting right now, do y'all filter y'all water before you? Like, these are things that they probably not going to tell you the truth if they do or not. But what I'm saying to y'all is so much stuff in the water, and these things end up in our foods, and these things end up in our bodies, right? For those of you that took the jab, you know that a lot of people was reporting that magnets and magnetites and magnetism has been happening to them with, it's just been crazy because in the jab, it has a bunch of different little things that have been magnets, like that metal that they've been saying that's been in it. So if you guys have been paying attention to that, and they've been talking about nanotechnology from a lot of these shots or jabs that people have gotten that has been put inside of people. So there's certain areas of people from chemtrails and everything else where crime is just crazy. People are rampant. They're fighting. They don't know why. It's just in the air. Nobody gets along. It's bananas. And, and they talk about the 5G and how the metals in your body and the 5G towers and how all of that is connected. So yeah, you do have to take extra precaution. If you don't feel like you do, that's on you. But at the end of the day, with all of these things being so true and everything being out here, why wouldn't you take the extra precaution that you can to help yourself? The one thing about all you guys that are religious and all you people out here, the one thing that I did read that makes sense to me that is in the Bible that a lot of people talk but they skip over because they claim they believe in God but they run to the first doctor they could find is that he said everything in this world that we need to heal our body is in the earth. So I've never known it to have to, why do people only pick and choose what they believe when it comes to that? That's bananas to me. Hold on, we got a few comments. I'm gonna get into those. Oh, my boy Cam on the check-in. Yo, salute Cam. Yo, appreciate you checking in, man. Word. The Crusades. Yes, the Crusades, the Christian Crusades, which people love to skip over when they want to be Christians. When they want to be super Christians and they want to repeat scripture, they don't repeat the Crusades. Why you don't repeat that part whenever you're trying to convert people to understand that Christianity was forced on people? So was Islam. Both of them was forced on each other, forced on people. So however you accept it, this day and time is respectable. I'm not speaking against that. But what I'm saying overall for people who like to be all self-righteous about which side they choose, just like Democrat, Republican, and all this other corny shit y'all doing, just know that ain't nobody got a report card that's clean. Ain't nobody got straight A's on their report card. Ain't nobody live in a house that's not glass. Everybody live in a glass house when it comes to that shit, yo. The holy war. Facts. And look, and even with the Holy War, listen, they was talking about during them times that, yo, once you conquer whatever you conquer, you get to rape the women, you get to keep the people, kids, and turn them into, you get to take the elderly and make them work for you and da-da-da-da. Like, you get to do all these things to these people, and this was based on religion. Like, if you guys really go in deep and just get into the details of all these things that so many people out here are claiming to represent, so many people are sending their money to these churches and tithes and offerings and all this other stuff, thinking that you're doing something for God or that you really are honoring God, and you're not. You're doing nothing but financing the devil. You know how it works. You go check it. Every church that you go to is a full 501c, right? So it's a nonprofit organization. Each nonprofit organization got to put their money in the banks. What do the banks do? The banks do fractional lending. What that mean? That mean they could take your money, they could lend it out, and they could charge interest on it, and they don't even have to have the money in there. So if you put 100,000 in there, they could loan out 1,000,000 off of your 100,000, make interest off of that 1,000,000 that they didn't have just off of your 100,000 being in there. That's what I'm saying. So whenever everybody talk about it, but then where does all of the money go to? Do they got parent churches? Of course they do. Fees and stuff go all the way back. And if you understand that most of these churches, if not all of them, their money, a percentage of the money that they collect in, all goes back to the Vatican. So, and this is all stuff that you can research. It's not stuff that people need to be mad at me about or get upset because I'm saying it. I'm just saying it's all out there. It's not, they not hiding it. Like, that's the one thing about it. The only people that really feel like they're hiding something is the people who sitting out there arguing back and forth with each other over stupid shit like racism. The people who are running this shit, they not hiding the fact that how they running it. They know that y'all ain't gonna do nothing, but y'all ain't gonna pay attention to it. Y'all just gonna argue with each other over who right or wrong. They already know that, so they just put it out there. They don't care. Go look. If you don't think that, think about, look, most of the horror films that are out here that people love, from The Nun to the Poltergeist to whatever, man, that's all that stuff come back from the Vatican, yo. They the ones that finance those movies in Hollywood. Just like the Pentagon financed a lot of these so-called war movies that you guys watch. Ain't nothing but propaganda. But they finance that too. If you go look it up, you'll find out. And then you can see the movies that they did finance. And this is supposed to be the most holiest place in the world. And you go see that some of the most demonic movies ever has been coming out of the places that people claim is supposed to be the most holiest. So if you yourself feel like you're a Bible thumper and you can't say nothing without saying amen after it, or every time you turn around, you reciting the scripture, I'm just hoping you to understand that's all you doing. Because God ain't just speaking to you and ain't speaking to nobody else. For all the people out here who love to talk about what God just told them, God ain't told you nothing. Why would he tell you something and not tell the person, who are you? And then what makes you think that your word is going to get across? That's not how that works. How did you get your word to you? Did God send that person to send something to you? No, you wilding, yo. I don't get that. A lot of times when God sends something, a word to somebody that they supposed to say, it's validation, it's confirmation over something that you already have, not some shit out the blue that you ain't never thought of. You know what? God came to me and told me you need to be a crocheter. Like, what? Nigga? I don't even know. I ain't even never had a blanket before. Some people ain't never even had blankets. They only sleep with sheets. So I don't even know like how that even works. Like people just come up to you and just tell you what God said about some shit that God ain't never. Yo, it's crazy. But in whoever's eyes that they said that worked for them before in their life, all right, whatever. I ain't arguing with y'all about that. I'm just saying. Like that ain't never happened to me in my life where somebody came and told me something that God didn't already tell me about, and I needed validation about it. Right? So I'm saying to y'all, that's crazy. But look, I'm gonna share my screen because I wanted to know, did y'all know this, man, when it comes down to the things that we put in our body? And that's why I say it's very important. Click the link in my description when it comes down to the parasite cleansing and stuff like that. Y'all go shop around, y'all go look around, do your research, but go ahead and get yourself together because if you honestly think that you may not have none, you probably do. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, it's so many different signs of those things being in your body. If you just check yourself and check what the signs are of having parasites and the type of different parasites they are, and then you just check yourself. And if you feel like those things, remind you of you during out the day or whatever, you should be definitely one of the people that check out what's going on. But let's do this real quick. Let me share my screen, yo, because we gotta make sure that I give y'all this information, man. Word. Let's go.
The government of Japan has said that Frosted Flakes, Rice Krispies, Wheat Thins, and Honey Bunches of Oats are all contributing to cancer. And they will not allow these American foods into the country anymore. They have a potent toxin in them called BHT, butylated hydroxytoluene. This chemical is a flavor enhancer designed to make these processed foods actually tolerable when you eat them. But Japan has a different idea. Why don't we just use real food that actually tastes good? So while countries around the world ban American foods because of how toxic they are, we can still get them in our stores. This is exactly what I'm talking about when I say hidden root causes. Be careful. Look for the letters BHT on the side of the box. If you see it, put it back on the shelf. Do not buy these foods. The government.
Okay, so for all my people out there, all my cereal eaters, for all my people that like to give their children cereal, and people who just like that quick little snack or whatever, do you actually know what you're putting in your body? Some people don't even understand their mood, right? They're always down or they're always in a negative space or negative, thought process, and they don't understand it's because of the food that they put in, the chemicals that are in your body. So what I'm saying, did y'all know that whenever you guys that are saying to yourself that I'm just going to do this real quick, because there are different choices, and that's the point. Very seldom do you have people who are solution oriented, right? Like wherever you could tell them something about, and the first thing that they'll respond is, well, everything is like that. So what? No. But there are choices that you don't have to, you can make a different choice. There are alternatives. It's always an alternative. If not, then what's the sense of everybody talking about good and evil if there's no alternative? There's either only good or only evil. And if there's not that, then that means that there's an alternative to everything in life, not just what you eat or not eat, right? It's an alternative. So what we're saying to you is that, did y'all guys know that? And if you didn't know, do you know what to pay attention to now that you do know? Do you know what to pay attention to now when you're going to buy your stuff? Or are you one of the people that understands that may have gotten this information, went to your cabinet, checked your cereal and all the other stuff that you do have, find out if you have these things that, or these chemicals and all these other things in this cereal, and will you throw it away? Or will you not because you worried about, you don't want to waste anything because you feel like it's a waste of money? It ain't a waste of money because if you paying to hurt yourself in the long run, you're not going to do nothing but wind up at the doctor anyway, the hospital anyway. So you ain't doing nothing but sending yourself into the hospital slower or quicker than you would be if you just threw the shit away. So I don't know. You're going to wind up paying more in the long run. So I don't get it. Like a little $8 box of cereal should not be something that you want to hold on to whenever it comes down to you having to have an $8,000 ambulance ride. I don't know. I think it's a little more now, but I mean, everybody I know, whoever had to ride in an ambulance, said that it was mad money just to get picked up in an ambulance, and that's all an ambulance is for. Can you imagine? That's what it's for. You got to pay all that. So what I'm saying is that, look, at the end of the day, if y'all did not know, hopefully y'all took that information. Y'all can rewind it, pause it, do whatever you got to do. Look up the chemical BHT and see if you have it on any of your packaging at the stuff that you have, and just do what you need to do. Either you can eat it, consume it, ain't my point, or throw it away. Either way it go. The information is out there. You know it. So hopefully y'all will pay attention and we can have a healthier us and we can get better, you know what I'm saying? Get better and get back to, living longer lives and not being so afraid to, say no, right? It's okay. All right, so look, we got a few minutes left. I want to get into my rant. I know I've dragged these parts out a little longer because I don't have a guest tonight. My guest was supposed to come. Some things came up with their family, and respectfully, on this platform, family is something that I value. So, in the end of the day, when that thing happens, we allow people to do whatever they do, and whenever they're ready, we can reschedule. We'll come back on, but if not, it's cool. I always look at it that maybe that conversation was not meant to have, right? Versus it being something that I'm forced to do, right? Because like I said, I know I like to talk to people who want to talk to me. So sometimes maybe the conversation is not needed. So I always look at that too. But for the guests that I did have scheduled today, I will have them on later. But this is what I wanted to talk about because I wanted to talk about positive energy real quick. I have a quote I want to read real quick. I had screenshotted a quote I wanted to start this off with because I think this is really important, right? For the duration of our lives, because we cannot keep blaming other people for how we view ourselves. We can't keep blaming other people for how our life is going. And we cannot blame other people for the decision that we made as far as the choices and the direction that we wanted to go in life. So with that being said, I wanted to this quote that I wanted to read to y'all that I screenshotted. And it goes like this. Speak positive words into your life every single morning. Think big. Think healing. Think success. Think peace. Think happiness. Think with a growth mindset. Always start the day with positive energy because you deserve it. Now, the most important part about that quote right there or that statement that I wanted to say is the part about how you deserve it. So many people are allowed the negative thoughts in their life to take over and for them to feel whatever them negative thoughts let them feel, and they let that control their life. Because most people don't think that they deserve to be happy. Some people are not happy where they are in life because for some reason they felt like they're supposed to be somewhere else. But you deserve to be happy right where you are, right? Most people don't think that they deserve the things that they do have already. Can you imagine? Some people have survivor's remorse. They made it out of certain situations and circumstances that other people didn't, and they feel bad about it. I also know there's a lot of people out here who are comfortable with where they are in life, and they try to pull people into that energy with them too as well. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, man. 2026 going forward, none of us got the time to be trying to match people's energy when they're pulling. If a person is not trying to add to your life or add value to you or put you in a position where you are up, then they don't have no room for you in your life. And that goes for friends and family. Family, that don't matter. All that stuff that I'm starting to learn that family is the ones that you create. You can create your own family. You don't necessarily have to always associate with people just because of blood, because, that doesn't necessarily mean uh, that there's a connection there because you share a lineage, right? You know, uh, Most of us are out here surviving without our parents, and our parents are alive. Can you imagine? And there's so many people out here who are devastated in life because the parent that they had is no longer here, and that parent loved them so much. So positive thinking and positive energy, it really only comes from the way that we control our lives. Like, it's not going to just come from outside all the time. It's like, it's not, because even the days when it rains and the sun is not shining on us, the sun is still shining behind the clouds. That's the hardest part for people to see. Like, the sun is still shining even if we can't see it. The sun never dims its light. It's just our lives get dim. Our things in our lives get dim. Things come into our way that can dim the light for us, but the light is still shining in the background. The light is still shining. The sun is never dimmed at all. Whenever it's daytime one place and somebody says nighttime in another, by the time it turns around, it's daytime over there where they are. It's never dim. It's never going to be dull. The light will never be out. But there are very few people who can see that in life. They can't see the light past the darkness. They can't see past wherever they are. They can't see that they are, in a lot better space than so many other people across the world. You know, that's why I say, it's okay for you to sometimes pay attention to other people and pay attention to their culture. And then you'll look at yourself and you'll realize that you're not as bad off as you may think that you are. And I remember this too. There have been people in life who are not here no more, who have taken their life, that has everything, except for the one thing that they didn't have. And and whatever they left, like whatever information that they left behind, the one thing that they said that they never had was true love, because they always had something that people wanted from them. So when you take a guy like Robin Williams, who committed suicide, and you think to yourself, yo, why would a guy like him, so successful, have all the money in the world, all these different things? Why would he want to why would he be that depressed to take his own life? And then when you find out from different people and interviews and all these other things that happen, is that he just wasn't happy because he just never really felt like he had true love, like people out here who really cared about him. Do you know, like, where there's so many people out here in the world who are looking for something financial or something material for them to feel love, and for them to feel like they're important and they're appreciated, where there are people out here who just want a friend, like just somebody that don't care about what they have. And then you have people out here who don't care about what you have, and you feel like they're replaceable. Some of y'all feel like y'all could find another person on social media, social dating apps, and you think that you could really find somebody that's going to love you, like you could replace, like a person that really cares about you, not a person that really cares about what you have or what you do and who you feel like you are in life. Like, they just care about you as a person. You really feel like you can replace those people. You'll be sad to understand that you'll get out here in this world and realize you can't replace some people. Because people like that, God is always going to make sure that they good, because they give off love. Anthony Bourdain, yo, I was going to say him too, yo. That's so crazy, bro, that you said that, Cam. That's crazy, because I was going to say him too as well, because, even with him, it was like, I think they said something about asphyxiation with him, like sexual asphyxiation with him. Like, he was tying himself up and shit and choking himself out while he was masturbating. But at the end of the day, uh, I think for him, I got to do more, because that's another reason why I didn't say it out loud. I think I got to remember correctly, because I know at one point one of them left a note. I can't remember exactly which one it was, but one of them left a note. And I think Anthony Bourdain was the one that did, and he described why he did what he did. But I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. I know somebody that did take their life. They did that. And I know it's called a suicide letter, but I'm saying that there's people throughout life and just regular every day that did that. But what I'm talking about is for people who seem like they have everything and they take their own lives because they didn't have the one thing that everybody else seemed like they want. And that's to have a person that they felt like really truly loved them for who they were and not for what they have and not for what they do and not for how they make you feel. Do you know how hard it is as a man to really feel like you make somebody that somebody really loves you unconditionally that doesn't come attached to how you make them feel? That's the hardest shit about being a man is that you will never really understand if you can experience love outside of someone telling you how you make them feel because they're always somebody feeling something. Very seldom do people really think and use logic on what they, in order to move through life. You know what I'm saying? They only go by the way that they feel. Can you imagine? Because, fellas, you live in a world where what you say and how you say it comes across to a person in a way where they can take it positively or they can take it negatively. Either way it go, you should not be held, to no other standard besides your truth. But that is just not how it is. It's just not. People can, the way that you say things or the way that you make them feel is how they react. That's weird. That's weird. It's really weird. It's really weird. But I get it from the other way around too, because there are a lot of men out here who are in domestic violence situations that they are the abuser based off a person that they claim they love. And I don't get that either. Why would somebody you love you want to put your hands on? And that's just vice versa. Why is somebody you love that you want to bring strife to? Why are you arguing with somebody you love? Why are you finding something wrong with a person that you claim you love? Why is everything that a person that you claim you love, you feel like they owe it to you? Like they don't owe nothing to themselves? Like the life that we're living nowadays, we're living a life where common sense is just not common, and people are always looking for someone else to blame for something. And I think positive energy is the only way for a single person, you personally, is to maintain your sanity and for you to be able to maintain the thoughts that you hold in your life, is to be able to focus and purposely find positivity in the things that are going on in your life, where you are, and the circumstances that happen to you. You have to purposely find it. That's the difference between happiness and joy. Happiness comes and goes. Joy is something that you can feel whenever you want to. You don't have to wait for a circumstance or a scenario to happen to you in order for you to feel joy. Joy is something that you can feel each and every day. Some people just recently got laid off from their jobs, but the joy comes into the fact that now you're open for a new opportunity. How many people looked at it from that perspective? They just looked at it from the fact that they took a loss. And I understand, because maybe the people around you make you feel like now your value or you're devalued now until they feel like they see you in the space. I get that too. But at the end of the day, you can't live based off the way other people think about you. You can only only worry about the way that you think about yourself. That's where the positive thinking and the positive mindset come in. Again, I want to read that quote one more time before we go, because that is what I'm aiming for. Speak positive words into your life every single morning. Think big, think healing, think success, think peace, think happiness, think with growth mindset. Always start the day with positive energy because you deserve it. I hope each and every person that's watching tonight understands the difference between being happy. I hope everybody understand the difference between joy and happiness. And even if you do not, I hope you go research it and find out. Just okay, there you go, Barb. Let me see. Barbara came up. She said, joy is internal, happiness is dependent upon situations. And that is a fact. Joy is internal. It's what you feel about you. How you feel about you. Whenever you get up each and every morning and you put forth the effort, you get up before the sun come up. You have a purpose in life. You get the same 24 hours a day that the biggest billionaire in the world gets. It's up to you to use those 24 hours. If you're a sleeper, if you're a lay arounder, if you love to be outside of this world more than you love to be in it, then that's where you will be. But for those of you guys that get up on each and every day with a purpose and you live within your purpose and you understand that each and every day you're not going to be happy. You have to be joyful. You have to find this thing. You have to be internally joyful. You have to find things and ways of yours. Find some type of way to maintain your positivity. And that's just the way you think. You're going to have to force yourself to think certain ways because every day is not going to be a good day for you. When you're an entrepreneur, listen, you're not going to make money every day. You're going to have to push through those times that are tough until it comes. You're going to have to. It's no other way around it. You don't get another choice. You have to. Right. So thanks, Barb, for saying that because that just makes it. I'm just saying, like, it's very important that you understand the difference between the two because it's only going to fall on you. It's nobody else's fault. Like, you cannot blame nobody else for how you feel about you. You can't. If you feel down on yourself, it's not your partner's fault because you feel down on yourself. It's not. If you feel like you're not in the right place or where you're supposed to be in life, then just make those choices and make those decisions and make the moves that you need to make. But it ain't your partner's fault. You can't walk around here because you lost your job or you lost your car or you lost something and your partner didn't. You can't be around mad because they shit is in place. Your stuff is in a certain place because you have your own purpose. It ain't on them. You can't be mad. It's just like all of y'all in relationships that somebody has a step or outside kid. It ain't on your person that you with to be trying to help you pay for child support and all this other stuff. That's on you. Bring people into your life to try to put them all in. Yo, you my partner. Yeah, be a partner, be a helpmate. But if that's the case, then they'll help you with positions that you can make more money so you can help your situation more. They don't need to come in and give you anything and pay for anything for you. If anything, you should have a plan on how you can get more. And if that person really rock with you, then they're going to make sure that they contribute or participate in those things to help you to get more because ultimately it's going to give them more too as well. So why wouldn't they? But you got to have that mindset as a leader. You can't just, and then as a leader, you got to realize that everybody not going to follow your lead either. But then if you're in the right space and the right energy, God going to see you the right people. That's the difference. That's the difference. So you can't expect everybody to be something that they not. But I promise y'all, if you hang in there and you put these thoughts in your mind purposely, yes, affirmations do work. You're gonna have to do it. You can't walk around praying all day, begging God for how you like really think about it. The more you keep asking him for something that means you don't believe that you already have it or you don't believe it's coming. You shouldn't be keep asking him for something that you've been asking him for since you've been 8. Like, yo, stop playing. Like, yo, if it's gonna come, it's gonna come because you want it, not because you asking for it. Like, go get it. Like, go get it. What is it that you want in life? Go get it. It's there for you to get. It's people with less talent than you that got more than you. It's not because they got more than when it come down to talent, they just put in the work. It's not going to come to you. It's not going to knock on your door and say, hey, I'm an opportunity here. No, you got to go get it. So I hope that inspires everybody to make sure that they jump out the window just to make sure their parachute work because you're not going to find out if it works or not as long as you stay in there. You got to jump. You have to jump. You have to jump. We have to work for what we want. And that's a fact. It's not going to come. And if you have, and this is the thing about working for what you want. You know what's so crazy about that is that when you got more than one person working towards that goal, you're going to get there faster. And that's the saddest part about the things that we're going through. We got so many of us that are individually looking for their own breakthrough, not knowing that if you're working together with people who got the same mindset that you all reach your breakthrough together. And then from there, you continue to keep breaking through. It's crazy, man, to me how we just our mindset is so just put on this island based mindset that we think that we got to be the ones that got to make it versus being with the people and we make it together. Like I said, collectively, collective visions, collective wear, team collective, the collective music group. Anything that I have that I'm associated with that I got collective is because I'm thinking about the collective. I'm trying to put it into position where I got like-minded people so we can get there faster and not just me having to do it by myself. I share the content, do all these other things. Do you imagine how much faster we could get to a place if everybody is on the same page? I'm just saying. You can accomplish more with someone else. Double facts in so many different ways, right? But at the end of the day, it's only so long before a person will break when it comes down to how much that they're going to do by themselves. If this is really your purpose and where you're supposed to be, you're not going to have to continue to keep doing it by yourself. The point is, you got to keep doing it. That's the point. Regardless of who is around you or not, you have to keep doing it. I hope this helps anybody out there that's watching tonight. I hope this anybody that watched the playback to stay motivated, just stay in course, right? Don't give up. Don't fall apart. Do not count your views. Do not count your shares. Do not count your likes, okay? Just count your blessings, right? That each and every day you can continue to do the things that you love to do. Please just keep moving forward, y'all. Don't give up. Don't look back. And never, ever, ever disrespect the grind, all right? Never disrespect the hustle. Always stay positive in your mindset. And let's just try to deal with things as they come, right? Let's not put too much on ourselves. Let's let the universe do what they're supposed to do, and then we do the rest, okay? Only deal with the things that you can help. Things that you cannot help, please give that to the higher power because that's what they're there for. Outside of that, y'all, I'm going to see y'all next week. I do have a guest scheduled for next week. Hopefully they show up. And if not, it's just going to be us and we're going to keep it moving. We're going to do just like we're doing now. We're going to make sure we get these conversations going. And I'm going to have that information for y'all either way it go. Always going to be prepared to make sure that we spark and conversate. All right. So until next week, I want all of you out there to do the same thing I tell y'all every week. Hold it down, stay fly out there, and believe in yourself because if you do not, no one else will. Thank you so much, Barbara. I appreciate you. Until next week, y'all, peace. Hold it down.